Namaskar, Amar Naam Shubhendu Ghosh. Welcome to Poll Pulse. Tracking the final phase of general elections, Team Poll Pulse has reached the city of joy, Kolkata. We are in West Bengal. Now, we know that Bengal has voted across all phases of the elections. In the final seventh phase, it will vote on 9 seats. Now, keeping aside, notwithstanding the sweetness of culture, of culinary tradition of Bengal, one of the most bitterly fought contests in these elections is being fought here in Bengal. We have Prime Minister Narendra Modi-led BJP trying to dislodge Chief Minister Mamta Bannerjee-led TMC's grip over power in Bengal. We've also seen that the BJP has made progressive improvement as far as vote share is concerned, as far as seats are concerned in the national politics scenario in particular. On the other hand, TMC has also worked hard to consolidate its position, especially if you look at the 2021 state assembly elections. We see a sweep by the TMC. So a great important contest there. And this fray, we also have the left and the Congress alliance. In the course of this deliberation, we'll, like always, try to focus on some key questions. I'll read those questions out to you. They'll come on your screen. How will Bengal choose between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Chief Minister Mamta Bannerjee? Question 2. What role will the Congress and left alliance play in the battle for Bengal? And finally, what is the development promise for Kolkata and West Bengal? We'll talk about that and more. Let's begin with this special story to learn about the city of joy, Kolkata, and broadly, what's at stake in these elections. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high, where the world has not been broken up into fragments by narrow domestic walls, into that heaven of freedom, let my country awake. Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore in Gitanjali presents a vision of free and aspirational India, a vision that the nation must engage with as it votes in the world's largest democratic elections. We are at Gurudev's ancestral home in Jorashakho, Thakurbari in West Bengal. It's a museum now. Welcome to Kolkata, the city of joy. Once a center of colonial power, Kolkata distinguished itself with a leading role in India's freedom movement. In a rapidly changing world, the city still hangs on to its gentle pace of life. Today, Kolkata is an important hub of trade and commerce, and also art and intellectual pursuits. Breathtaking variety of sweets, from the humble Rasgulla to the heavenly Sandesh, have carried the sweetness of Bengali culture to farthest corners of the nation and the world. Aggressive political campaigning has charged up the city this summer. West Bengal has 42 seats in parliament and is voting across all 7 phases of the elections.
নির্বাচনের তো অবশ্যই প্রয়োজনীয়তা রয়েছে, ভোটের প্রয়োজন রয়েছে, আর গণতন্ত্র এটা প্রায় 130 কোটির দেশ। গণতন্ত্রকে বাঁচিয়ে রাখার জন্য মানে মানুষের ইচ অ্যান্ড এভরি পিপল মানে যারা ভোটার তাদের অপিনিয়নটা খুব দরকার।
আমাদের মনোমতো লোক আসুক, যাকে আমরা সুযোগ্য মনে করি, এটা তো আমাদের এক্সপেকটেশন এবং আমরা চাইছি সেটা। যিনি আসবেন মানুষের জন্য কাজ করবেন।
The iconic Havra Bridge is the most recognizable symbol of Kolkata and Bengal, a lifeline for the people of the city. These elections are once again witnessing a clash of personality cults. Prime Minister Narendra Modi of the BJP versus Chief Minister Mamta Bannerjee of the TMC. The alliance of Congress and the left are also in the fray. Mamata Bannerjee's Trinamool Congress has dominated the political landscape of Bengal after uprooting the left rule over a decade ago. But under leadership of Prime Minister Modi, BJP has made steady inroads into Bengal, especially in national politics. For the Congress and the left, it is a battle for survival. While Bengal is often referred to as the sweetest part of India, it may not be true for its political culture. Political violence has been normalized here.
Many lives have been lost and destroyed in the game of power. So much that one believes that these elections are not just about the future of Bengal, but its very identity. With camera person Saurabh De, Shubhendu Ghosh, Kolkata, DD India.
Let me now welcome my esteemed panelists in the program today. We have with us Dr. Abra Sen from the BJP. Shall we also put our hands together for our guests here? Mamata Bannerjee, a TMC supporter. Oishi Ghosh from the left. And senior journalist Potim Ranjan Bose is also joining us. You'll be my ally in the course of the program. Let me also welcome the wonderful audience, young people, young college students who've gathered here for this program. A round of applause for you all. You represent the young India. And the idea of poll pulse, the pulse in this program are the questions, your responses and your engagements. So we look forward to the questions coming in from you in the course of the program. Let's begin with the first section of the program. I'll begin with the TMC. Now, TMC Anirban is facing a volley of allegations of corruption, disturbing accusations of misrule, from Sandesh Khali to teachers' recruitment issue to the very recent OBC certificates case. There's unsavory remarks coming from the top leader on religious leaders. There's violence in Nandigram. It looks like this TMC versus BJP, which we understand, is becoming TMC versus court. But are you afraid that it might become TMC versus people in these elections? Anirban.
Well, when you're ruling a state for almost 13 years now, it's always going to be a situation where the people are going to question you. There's no problem in a democracy when people question you. They are supposed to question you. The citizen, the informed citizenry of our country, we want them to question the ruling dispensation. But this is a Lok Sabha election and not an assembly election. The distinction between the two is very, very clear. But the BJP, which is the incumbent government at the union level, they want to turn this, at least in the perspective of West Bengal, they want to turn this into a TMC versus BJP battle vis-a-vis assembly elections. It is not an assembly election. This is an election where you are going to form the government at the union level. The policies will be framed at the union level for the entire country. Yes, there will be special focus on many states, union territories, many regions of our country, but the policies in general will be broadly formulated for the entire country.
I take that point about these being the general elections, but the question I'm asking and why I'm asking is that if women are not safe in one village of West Bengal, how can that party ensure that there's going to be women's empowerment and safety in the nation as a whole? Therefore, the allegations are very serious. How do you respond to that in particular?
Thank you for the question, because see, we never want, any person from any political party in their right will never want that women's safety gets compromised because of political issues. Political rivalries will always be there. But when it comes to women's safety, I don't think any right-minded individual is going to say that we can compromise on that. Regarding Sandesh Khali, I must stress this point, that the particular issue of women's safety or the sexual assault allegations that have been coming in the last few months, they have all been put in front of a big question mark after the sting video of Gangadhar Koyal has come to light. And the many allegations that the BJP were trying to level, most of them have been refuted by the women themselves, who have come out before the cameras and claimed that the BJP leaders had forced them, had misled them to sign blank papers, maybe to lodge false allegations. And I must reiterate that except for the BJP, all the other parties in the entire country, when they have ruled, there have been incidents which they will not be very proud of against women, of complaints of offences against women. But the BJP has been the only party which has been in government in Gujarat and at the union level, and both connived together to release the convicted gang rapists and mass murderers of Bilkis Bano. Mark my words, this is the only party, I think, in the whole country
Let's take the reaction
which has
also
stood
then.
by the gang rapists who were convicted. They were not alleged gang rapists.
Let's take the reaction from the BJP. Dr. Sen, the serious allegations against the TMC, it hits back with similar allegations of if women are also safe in BJP governance. How do you see the particular contest in West Bengal and women's issues, allegations of corruption? What ammunition is it giving to the BJP this time?
No, I would say TMC is a very good party. There has been no allegations of rape. There has been nothing wrong in the state for the last 10, 12 years. It's all good in the state, right? We cannot question. Women of a village, they were molested, they were raped inside TMC party offices. They came out in hundreds of numbers. They were compelled to come out. And at what juncture? When ED went to raid at Sheikh Shahjahan's residence. They thought that is the watershed moment, and they thought it as an opportunity to speak of the ills that they have faced for so long. They came out with brooms, they came out with sticks, they had nothing more. But on the other hand, these people, these TMC mafias, these TMC goons, what did they have? They had all the ammunitions. That has also been recovered. But there is one very famous word coming from our esteemed Chief Minister of the state, that everything is Shahjano Ghotona. When there is one rape in Park Street, it's Shahjano Ghotona. When there is one rape at Sandesh Khali, it should be Shahjano Ghotona. When there are hundreds of rapes at Sandesh Khali, that should be Shahjano Ghotona. Even if you turn back in time, there was a minor who was raped. Our esteemed Chief Minister had said she must have been pregnant. She must have been having an affair. Now, my categorical question is, when our esteemed Chief Minister is herself the Home Minister of the state, she is heading the police of the state, can she pass such statements even before the investigation commences?
Okay, take your point.
This is my categorical question to you.
Take
when,
that point.
just
Yeah.
10 more seconds. When the administration of the state has this perspective that whenever an allegation of rape or molestation comes, it would be a Shahjano Ghotona. Mind my words, we are living in hell, and this has to change.
I take that point, Dr. Sen, but also if you could respond to the allegations, if your record as representative of the BJP and outside of Bengal
I would
is impeccable, especially
I
in
would
women's
categorically
safety.
respond to his claims of the Sting video. Now, he is a lawyer.
Also
I'm
on the
a
women's
lawyer.
safety, Dr. Sen, also on the
Yeah.
women's safety,
Yes,
the
yes.
BJP is recorded
Yes.
that.
I'm categorically telling you, fake videos were published by Abhishek Banerjee, an MP of TMC. Abhishek Banerjee published these videos, and these videos were uploaded in a YouTube channel named Williams. When it comes to the tenets of law, this Williams or whoever runs the channel has to come to the fore, because he has to be examined or cross-examined as per law. And if Abhishek Banerjee has brought these videos forward, it is his responsibility to go to the Supreme Court and place the video on record with immediacy. Why I am telling this? Because they have spent exchequer money from people's tax to go to the Supreme Court, and they have wanted a stay on the CBI investigation regarding Sandesh Khali incidents. Then wasn't it their duty to place that video on record in the Supreme Court right away?
And the investigation
They haven't
also
done
is...
that. They don't have the guts to do that. Why? I'll tell you. Because whenever they place it in front of the Supreme Court, it will be sent to the CFSL, the forensic lab, and it will be proven that it's a fake video. There'll be
All right,
stand by
and the
the court
investigation,
that
Dr.
they're
Sen,
nothing but fake people coming up with
Dr.
such fake
Sen,
narratives.
Dr. Sen, I think we'll focus on the very, very crisp and the manner in which the allegations can be substantiated. Also, the Sandesh Khali matter is being investigated by the CBI as we speak. You did not, although, respond in brief about the allegations against the BJP. If women are safe under your rule as well, has your record been impeccable? What is your assessment?
You take the NCRB data and you see, you go to Uttar Pradesh. They always give the example of Uttar Pradesh, right? You go to Uttar Pradesh today. If you have any friends of yours living there, just ask them, what is the situation of law and order there? You go to any BJP ruled state, what is the situation of law and order there? And what is the situation of law and order in West Bengal? If something wrong happens, then let us be saved by God, because the administration would say it's a Shahjano Ghotona.
Okay, so you're saying that BJP does not have any such problematic records as far as women's empowerment is concerned. Let's turn to the left now. Oishi, Bengal was once a bastion for the left, and now we see progressively it has been moved to the margins. How are you approaching these elections differently? Well, BJP has made progressive inroads. You've been pushed out. What is the manner in which you're doing things differently in these elections?
So when we have been approaching the people of Bengal at this moment during this election, we have kept our message clear to the people. that in the last 10 years with BJP in the center, we have seen that the corruption has been legalized in the system. We have seen that how the BJP, which is trying to have a different mask in Bengal, actually we see the entire country. When it comes to education, when it comes to employment, when it comes to women's safety. My fellow panelist was not trying to talk about what's happening across the country, but I would want to remind him that what's happening in Manipur, it's more than 8 months that Manipur has been burning. What's happening in Tripura? What kind of democracy has the BJP brought there? And not only women's safety, what is the condition of education today? So many of the national scholarships have been scrapped off, has been stopped. And when the BJP is doing this, we have recently seen the electoral bond scam, which has extremely legalized corruption. The BJP in 2014, when it talked about development, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, everyone was in that aura that, okay, the BJP will bring a huge change. What we are seeing at this moment, that several companies, the companies which are making necessary medicine at this moment, they are making a price hike in medicine. Everyday commodities are having a price rise. And if you question the people in power, if you question the government, they are saying that this is happening because of the international market. There is no say that we have. GST and taxes are increasing.
Aisha, take note of all the allegations that you make. But again, what will bring the left back? What are you presenting as your vision?
Our message is clear, that if we have to sustain the human resource, we have to invest in them. Education, employment, healthcare is something, has to be the priority. If we have to make sure that people have to have a good livelihood, they have to have a good stay inside this society. So much of migration from the students we are seeing post-COVID, they are going abroad because they are not getting that kind of career here. And no jobs, no employment. That's the reality of the young forces in young India today when we are talking about elections. And if not elections, when are we supposed to question the government, which is in the power for 10 years? That you have been in power for 10 years, people wanted a change, people voted for you for 2 terms, but despite that, you have not been able to bring change. You have not been able to bring...
Just briefly, what is your assessment of why people have not voted for the left all these years?
See, it's a democracy. People would want change.
Consistently over the years.
People, obviously, it is a democracy. It's been 3 terms, if we see in the context of Bengal, that people have decided for an alternative opinion. But what we are trying to say, that when people have decided for an alternate, we have kept the education, employment, healthcare and the livelihood issue intact whenever we have been speaking. And we are seeing changes. If we see the Panchayat elections, we have seen changes coming in. People are coming out. And I'm clearly saying this, that this elections, Lok Sabha elections, is going to see a change for the alliance, left alliance here in Bengal.
All right, Oishi, interestingly, there was no attack from you against your arch rival in the state, the TMC. I'll come to that, no problem. Let me turn to you, Pratim Ranjan Bose. How is the battle of 2024 different from what we saw in the state elections in 21 and the national elections in 2019 and 2014? What does 2024 have to offer? What is dominating the public mind space in these elections?
Okay. There are 4 specific issues, but before that, a quick introduction is that in West Bengal, since it is a dominating one-party rule, that is how it went on, so essentially Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha elections move in the same direction. So whosoever wants to remove TMC from power will be voting, and this has been a strategy. They will come together to one force to do that. So these are not separate votes, but obviously Mr. Modi has brought in a different flavor to it. This, whatever votes BJP gets, a good share of it, it is just for Mr. Modi. So that is same over here. There are 4 issues. One is definitely the since 2019 there has been a consolidation of votes towards TMC. There was also a rise in polling percentage. There is some contention in that. There is a problem with that. I'll get back to that later when you'll ask me. But this trend is going to break this year. The Muslim votes which were consolidating to TMC will not, there will be a disruption to that trend. To what extent, we will know after the election. The biggest anti-establishment wave is against high-handedness, corruption, and the particular problem with TMC, let's take the Sandeshkhali issue, is BJP Now, this is the first people's revolution that I have seen in my 35 years of career as a journalist. This is the first one, which was, it was people's movement. The BJP failed to project it statewide. That is what I believe, adequately. But TMC, by their refusal...
And just to add to the point, sir, Boshirhat is going to be voting in the final phase, and Sandesh Khali is part of the Boshirhat constituency, right, just for our audiences to know. Yes, go on.
Right. So TMC, by trying their consistent approach to refuse every allegation, including court verdicts on these scams, so they are on a self-injury mode. Insofar as left has, I think, Trinamool in this election has only one plank on which they can survive. That is Lokhir Bhandar. That scheme, there's a dole given to every woman, irrespective of their economic background. But here is a catch. The women voters is the issue over here. But if you look at data closely, the women polling percentage is, vis-a-vis male, is not same across the state. It is very high in the districts where, which are from where most of the migratory labor comes from. But it is same to male voting percentage in, suppose, Durgapur, Burdwan, etc. So it will not have a, there is no pan-West Bengal impact, but it can be the only saving grace for Trinamool in this election.
All right. All right. Let's now turn to our young audience members, also get questions and perspectives from how are they approaching these elections.
I have a general question for all the political parties. So if we see the last election, the fifth phase election in West Bengal, the average casted vote was about 73%, and especially we can see that many people have not voted, which can mean that they cannot trust any political parties. So what is your take on reviving their trust on you, or the trust on election?
Since we are surrounded by the youth today, so my question is related to the youth. That is employment. We all are searching in our life for employment. So what is the, how safe and secure is our future in this country in case of employment is my question.
I have a question for TMC person, as I am a new voter. So my question for you, why should you believe your party? As we recently know so many allegations and corruptions against your party.
Okay, thank you for those questions. So let's begin with the last question. Anirban, the thing that I was talking about, this volley of corruption and misrule charges, it makes the voters confused as well. How do you respond to the question of the lady there?
Look, basically, in the post-truth age, politics has become more of a perception battle than the reality itself. Regarding the charges of corruption, I am neither agreeing to them, neither disagreeing to them, because...
You're not disagreeing to the charges of corruption?
Because, I'll give the reason, because the courts are to decide on them. I should not run over the courts just because I am supporting a particular party. But till now, I must say this with full confidence, a single person belonging to the Trinamool Congress officially has been convicted by any trial court for any corruption charge. Not a single person, mind you. I am not even speaking about the top leaders, top officials, top ministers, etc., etc. Forget about them. Just being in custody, getting denied bail every time, etc. This is not itself a proof of anything. I welcome the CBI, the ED. I urge them to speed up their investigation, to submit their final charge sheets, and get the criminal courts, the trial courts, to secure a single conviction. Let me remind you that the Sharoda cheat fund scam, I think you are all aware of it. The investigation itself has been going on for almost 12 years now. That in itself is a scam. The CBI, the ED, they need a lot of money to sustain themselves. What are they doing except
so you're saying that
for the hands of the BJP?
Not guilty till proven.
Absolutely. That is the judicial postulate that we run by.
Dr. Abir Sen, I want to take the other questions that came from the audiences. Voter apathy is a reality. Also the kind of political discourse that takes shape. Many may not want to be a part of it. Many don't go out and vote. And we've seen that, especially in urban spaces and many among the youth as well. How seriously do you view this challenge of voter apathy and the question about what is there for jobs, employment for the young people?
See, it is true that everything related to our lives is related to politics. Even if you are apathetic or less interested in politics, in some way or the other, our lives would be governed by a facet of politics. So if that is the pragmatic scenario, it is our responsibility to go out in numbers and cast our vote. Now see, there are economic disparities in our society. There are disparities of power structure and all those things. But when it comes to the question of voting, you can cast one vote, I can cast one vote, and other panelists and our anchor can also cast one vote. So there is equality, there is parity in that respect. I think every person of our society should understand this, and they should come out in numbers and they should vote. Whoever they are supporting, doesn't matter. But it is their responsibility. But if they sit back at home, the change won't come. They should come out, they should vote for the party they are supporting. Even if they are supporting no party, vote for Nota. Not an issue. But cast the vote and bring the change. That is all I would say.
All right.
Just quick question. One is, globally, the drop in polling percentage is linked to prosperity. You look at any developed country, look at developed parts of India, look at Maharashtra. So there is a link to it. Second is employment. Employment in today's world is no more that sarkari nokri and giving jobs. This is gone. This era has gone. Your kids, so you should think of startups. You should do your own things. There are many opportunities in the world. See, I am here. I am a journalist. I quit my job I have a startup. Apart from I write, I do podcast, I do many things. I also have a consulting startup. I have been working. So there are ways to survive. There are ways to earn money.
So you're making it easier for the political parties, making it more self. Let me get a comment from
Just
Oishi after that. Let me
There
get a
has been
comment from Oishi.
exponential growth in digital technology in the last few years, and that has opened a number of avenues for the youth when it comes to the question of employment.
All right, you make that point. Oishi, one, people are not coming out to vote, and those who are coming out to vote are not voting for the left. How seriously do you view this problem?
Of course, I think so. It was because of my own personal campaign. During campaign trail, we were going to many of the households while campaigning, and I think so. Very important and pertinent question for the youth, that if, as much my co-panelist has been saying that politics is something that decides our life, obviously, because it frames policies which affects us. One thing which has happened in the last few years, politics is not at all impacting or changing our lives. That is there among the voters, that if it does not change that, why should we vote? And I think so it's a big responsibility on the political parties at this moment to talk about issues that actually impact the voters on the ground, and that is what we are trying to do.
And so let's turn to then the important question about employment, and I'll come to each one of you.
One more important thing that as a question came was employment, which is, I think so, which I was trying to say in the first go also. And I would also agree to disagree.
Simplify your view for the people.
The point is, the number of courses, the academics has become vast. The number of students who are now passing out and getting education is huge. Now, according to their wishes, we need to create employment. At this moment, a lot of students would be in journalism. But are there sectors to enough support them?
So what is the plan of Congress-left alliance for these elections?
The plan is that the government has to make sure that they become the support system for the youth, so that there are more employment. Secondly, the point is, it's not that government jobs have gone to an end. There are many of the youth who will require central government jobs, state government jobs, and that's why we can see that 2016 panel of SSC, so many of the youth had gone for the job, and then they saw what kind of corruption has happened in our own state, that so many students applied for it, they had done their B.Ed, they were seeking for school service commissions, and then their future is now at a point where they don't know what's going to happen.
Okay.
So we are just trying to say that if you give employment to youth, if you give employment to an individual, they can have their perspective, they can contribute towards the framing of the society and the country that we have been trying to say.
All right, Anirban, what is the targeted solution as far as the issue of employment is concerned? What is the plan for the TMC?
Okay, the immediate plan, not just for the TMC, but for the India, is to get rid of the BJP. With the BJP at power, youth, you are not safe. none of you are going to get employed in the government sector or in the private sector. I must remind you of one thing, that regarding the reservation issue, there's a lot of chaos going around that BJP is going to do that, Congress is going to do something else, India is going to do, the alliance that I'm speaking of, something else. But the point is, with the BJP at power, they're getting rid of all the government institutions one by one. They're selling it to the private players, and with the private players...
But Anirban, the TMC will come in power when you tell the people what vision you have.
Yes, I'm telling you, that is the point I'm
What is the
coming to.
plan that you have?
That is the point I'm coming to.
Yeah.
For the reservation, the quota system to work, the government jobs have to be there, and for that to happen, the institutions, the government offices has to be run by the government and not by the Adanis and Ambanis. With the private players, there is no reservation. Therefore, for the employment to come in and for your safety as an employee, the labor laws also have to be implemented by the government. The BJP government is a government that has diluted the labor laws. They want you to work for 12 to 14 hours a day, get paid hardly 400 or 500 rupees a day, even less sometimes. And if you want to get in the government sector, you're not going to get there, because more than 40 lakh posts are empty in the Indian Railways. Mind my words, Indian Railways is one of the biggest government employers in the entire country. More than 40 lakh posts are empty, they are vacant. The BJP is not going to fill them up. They are going to sell the railways. You go to Shialda station, it does not look like a railway station anymore. It's like a superior 5-star mall being sold to the Ambanis or the Adanis. The ports have been sold, the airports have been sold. Now the railway stations are waiting to be sold.
Okay,
so get rid of the BJP first.
Okay, Anirban. Dr. Obrochen, so the solution given by the panelists that put BJP out of
I have understood this
job.
point. The solution is create more jobs at the state level, because they are at the state, so that they can sell those jobs like vegetables in the open market. That is what they have been doing. So that is the crux of the matter he is selling. And one more thing, he has said a very good thing. Shialda station doesn't look like a railway station anymore. It looks much more developed. That's a very big sin that BJP government has done. We shouldn't have done that. Come on, please. When you are debating on a serious issue, I think we should stick to facts and figures and not make such petty comments. I won't add anything else, but I would just like to say his remarks only expose the path of development that we have tread on. And they're just simply denying that, and they're just simply saying all those wrong things. And he was exposed that.
But Dr. Obrochen, accusations, concerns over employment, cost of living are real challenges in these elections across states, not just in West Bengal.
The TMC panelist had said one very important thing.
But you tell us, how do you
reservation
respond?
Thing. You guys know about the verdict that has come from the Honorable Calcutta High Court just a day back, right?
Obro will be coming to that point in particular,
sure.
but I'd like you to respond to the serious concerns around employment and cost of living that the centre, because BJP has been at the centre for 10 years, how do you respond to that concern?
True. See, we all know what COVID-19 did to our society. You take the economic growth pattern of the entire world today, standing today. After COVID, there are many developed nations that took a major blow. In comparison, if you see the condition of India, we have withstood that severe blow. We have withstood that. You take up EPFO data and CMI data, you'll see regular jobs are being generated in the organized and the unorganized sector. Now, when you're talking about jobs, it is obvious in a country of 140 crores, you cannot generate government jobs that will give employment to all the people, all the prospective people, all the youth. But you have to create an ambience where non-government players can create jobs for the youth. And that is what has been happening. There has to be perfect balance between government sector and non-government sectors, so that all the young population, all the youth, boys, girls, they get proper employment. I was talking about digital technologies advancement in our nation. You take up the data, we are number 2 today in the world. And we are developing at an exponential pace. So what it does is, it eradicates all the problems that are there in conventional form of employment. Suppose you are staying in Kolkata, but you can work for a company that is based in USA. You can work for a company that is based in Europe. That is happening only because we have ensured the advancement of digital technology. I'll give you one more example.
Dr. Obrochen, also, you've given the model. You've given the model. No, I'll tell you the point why I'm interrupting. You've given the model, and Prime Minister Modi also speaks about that.
One more information.
But do you also see the seriousness of the issue?
Are getting optical fiber installed. 2 lakh villages. That is our sankalp, and it would be done.
Okay. Let me come to you. Let me come to you, Pratik.
One small thing. He was
briefly.
talking about data. Then he should also address to the data where it is showing that at this moment India is seeing one of the highest unemployment rate.
All right,
He was talking also
which
about
data
the
are you talking about?
He was talking about government
data are
and
you talking about?
non-government sector.
No. The exact source of the data should be
It's the
given.
government data which is saying 45%.
Which
More than
government data?
your government data is also.
Where is the data? Please kindly show us the source.
Secondly,
Kindly
when
show
you're
us the source.
talking, when
I'll
you're
be
talking
convinced.
Let me
about
complete the point.
when you're talking about employment, what we are seeing, there is a rise of contractual employment system at this moment. Please ask for. My friends are working in many of the companies. The condition that they have at this moment in contractual working system, they're working for 15 hours, 16 hours. That the pay they are getting is not that.
Okay,
of.
Oishi, you've made the
Also
point.
with
You're talking about the non-government
Oishi,
sector.
let me turn to
I'm
Pratik.
just-
Oishi, you've
I'm
made the
trying to
point.
say you
And
what's
if
the
this has been
fact,
done,
what's the
they should report it
reality,
to the
what's the
authorities
reality. So much of layoffs happening, so
Oishi,
many of layoffs
you've made the
happening every
point.
other day. There is no social security for many of the employees. At one point of time, with government playing a major role in employment, people used to have a security. They used to have.
All right,
gratuity,
Oishi,
they
social
used to
security
have
is also a
pension,
crucial
they
point.
used to
You've
have
made the
many-
point.
Primarily
Oishi, you've
talking
made the
about
point.
the non-government
I have
sector.
to-
We
I have
are
to turn
just
to
trying to
Pratim.
say,
Let's
even
also
in
turn
the
to a panelist.
non-government sector,
Oishi, you've made
at
the
this
point.
moment,
If a non-government employee
you've made the point.
is not adhering to the labor laws, it is the
so whose
prerogative of the individual
responsibility
employee
it is to
approach
see
the
that
right
the
forums.
I think people
whose
are getting the
responsibility,
point about
whose
the concerns around
responsibility
employment.
is it
Oishi,
to see whether the people in our country, the employed
Oishi, you've
youth
made
in
your
our
point.
country are feeling safe in their own job
Oishi,
sectors. They
you've
are
made your
not
point. Let
feeling
me turn to
so much
Pratim
of
Ranjan
layoffs
How are they not
happening.
feeling?
One
How are they
second.
not feeling safe?
Oishi, I'll have to stop you, Dr. Sen also. Pratim, the issue of unemployment, joblessness, costs of living, these are real challenges, especially in a country which is seen as a young country, young people looking for jobs, looking for better avenues. What is your real approximation, estimation of the kind of work that has been done by the TMC and the centre in addressing this issue in the state and the nation? Just briefly.
There is a problem. There are much lesser problems as well. To give quick examples, Oishi said about there are many people are studying journalism, but there are not as many journalism jobs. Who will create journalism jobs? Government. Journalism jobs are not there because the days of those media are over. Digital media has come in and broke their business. Period. You cannot just go back to the Stone Age. Second, you cannot have robotics and 40 lakh people, gangman on the railways anymore. What do you want? You want robotics? You want better rail? You want higher, faster growth? You want more industry? That will create jobs, but not those gangmans. So essentially,
the things that you
I
assess,
saw,
have those
just
issues
to
being
add,
have those
still.
issues being addressed by the state and the centre?
No, here
If
is
yes,
the gap.
in
Here
what
is
manner?
the gap.
Yes, so tell us
Here
about
is
that.
the gap. I was in Assam. I was pillion riding a Uber moto guy, and he told me that he has been learning typing. So I said, why the hell you are learning typing? Because some government job. Now please understand, to get some government job, he has been into a skill which is being promoted. So the government is promoting a skill. It is not about Assam only, it is about every state. Here lies the gap. So the state has to do a lot. Now coming specifically, since we are in West Bengal, you see, I also offer a lot of jobs. I create jobs. I don't keep anyone as my employee. I give them contract, you get it done, I pay for the job. I don't pay for the man. Now the problem is you have to get the job done to me. Most of my jobs are outsourced from Delhi and other states, not from West Bengal. Why? Because there is not enough culture in the state. Those skills are not being
Pratim,
developed.
I'm sorry, but I'm just coming back to that again. My question was your assessment of the degree to which the state government, the centre, has been successful at addressing these new conditions of workplace that you're talking about. Have they been able
not
to
at
do
all.
that?
They are
Okay. Okay, the brief answer is fine. Let me again turn to the audience members here, take more set of questions so that we can get the pulse of the nation.
So my question is basically for the ruling party spokesperson. Whenever we see there is an allegation to the ruling parties, they point the fingers back to to the past government, like what the Congress has done in 70 years or what the CPIM has done in 34 years. So my question is that whatever scams or whatever corruption or whatever violence like post-poll violence or booth rigging, if that is your mentality, like it was continuing in the past years, thus this gives you the license to continue in this present era.
Okay, I take that question. We'll take another question.
My question is to BJP that what are the initiatives taken by the BJP government to improve the transportation infrastructure in West Bengal?
My question is from TMC members that after 2011, 117 castes were added in the reservation and maximum were the Muslims. What was the reason behind it as a Muslim vote bank?
All right, TMC, let me turn to you because the questions, most of them are directed towards you. If we can take the first one that was about is denial the best defense? Each time an allegation of corruption comes, you turn it around to say that, look, everyone is corrupt here. Why are you pointing at us? Your response to that?
Short answer is that it's called ruler psyche. I mean, if you're a ruler and you keep on admitting to all the allegations that come against you, then you're done ruling. That's the first point. But on a more serious
note,
you
agree that denial is the kind of defense that you, so you agree with that?
Yeah, it's not about the
okay,
only, but when you are a ruler, if you keep on admitting amader to bhulai chilo, then you are done ruling.
It's a relief, you're doing things differently today.
So number two is, for the real world, the answer is for a corruption charge to be proved, there's a set of rules, there's a set of systems in place. As I said earlier, that politics is also a battle of perceptions. In a battle of perception, when the opposition, in this case the BJP, which is also a ruler, in a democracy we have the union, we have the state, the BJP is also the ruling party at the union level. When they are trying to frame charges against you based on something which may not be true, I say this because the person they have been calling chore on camera today, the same very person the next day becomes one of the topmost leaders of that very party. Obro used to call Shubhendu Adhikari a chore, now Shubhendu is a sir for him. So therefore, in a battle of perception, no party is going to readily admit to anything.
Okay, I get your point, Anirban. It's almost like you demonstrating the kind of allegation that is being made. But let me come to the second point, Anirban, about that's a serious one. The OBC certificates case.
Right.
The matter is in the court. Let me just clear the question first. The Calcutta High Court has cancelled all OBC certificates issued by West Bengal government after 2010. Now the court notes a series of legal and procedural deficiencies in the process. Around 5 lakh OBC certificates have been cancelled through this verdict. Now, Anirban, TMC is seeking to challenge the verdict of the court, which I understand, which the TMC has the right to. The state government. But the more serious issues is what the lady pointed out about, if you look closely to the reservations that have been given, allegations of vote bank politics, minority appeasement become stronger against the government. How do you respond?
See, again, this is a battle of perception. This is a propaganda that is being floated by the BJP. I say this because in Gujarat, when Mr. Modi himself was a chief minister, he used to campaign that I have given OBC reservation to more than 70 categories of Muslims.
No, but
that was
the charge is there a disproportionate representation of a minority in the reservation?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
The allegation. Why don't you explain the stand first before attacking the BJP?
In I don't exactly remember the year, but I think before 2010, there was a commission formed, which actually advised the government to look into the condition of the backward class people who were not yet enlisted, and many of them were from the Muslim community. That is an incidental fact, that is not a political fact. We have seen in the Sachar committee report that the Muslims in our state are in a very, very bad condition. They used to be in a very, very bad condition compared to the Hindus who are also backward classes. In the OBC category, many Hindu communities were already included, but the Muslims were historically left out. The left government had issued this commission, they had given a report, they tabled it before the government then changed. In 2011, the government changed, but you know the government is actually a continuing process. You cannot simply discard all the events that were taking place in the previous government.
Okay, so you're saying that your welfare of the minorities has been your focus?
In this case, it was not just the Muslims. There were many categories of Hindus who were also included in that particular list. But it happened to be that the numbers of the Muslims were more because none of them were in the list previously.
But the procedural issues remain, the court has pointed out, Dr. Abrosen. This issue of appeasement politics is something that the BJP uses to attack the TMC very sharply. Your take on this unfolding issue, and also is BJP participating in the polarizing of the votes, because the BJP versus TMC also seems to be turning out to be, and it's unfortunate, as a Hindu versus Muslim contest in the state. Your take?
See, there were serious procedural lapses. It is true that the left government, which went out of power in 2011, had tabled a report, but they didn't bring the law. The report in itself was flawed, no doubt about it. As per the procedure, as per the constitutional provisions of our country, as per Article 16(4), subsection 4, it is mandatory to go to the State Backward Class Commission and take their permission before including any class of people into the OBC category. This was not done by the TMC government. What they did was, they subcategorized the OBC category into OBC A and OBC B. Now, if you see the numbers, over 90% of the classes that were included in OBC A category are from a particular religious community. And in OBC B category also, around 50% or so are from the same community. Multiple cases were filed in the Calcutta High Court. The case has gone on for quite a number of years. In fact, the National Backward Class Commission had sought a reply from the state government that what's happening? This is not the procedure to do things. At that juncture, the state government had replied that all the Muslims who were included in the OBC category, they were actually converts from Hindus in the state. Now, if such a huge number of people have converted from Hinduism to Islam, then it is the responsibility of the state government to give the data to the respective commission when they seek the report. The commission asked for this report. If such a large scale conversion has happened in our state of West Bengal, then the state government should have given the report. At this, the state government couldn't reply anything. This is one facet of the story. And in the court also, they couldn't come up with a proper reply. Why did not they adhere to the provisions of the law? They simply undermined the Constitution of India. They simply undermined the tenets of law. They did not follow procedure. As per the Constitution of India, no religion can be given such reservation. That is exactly what they have done. They have
And Dr. Obro, my second part of my question is the BJP then, in the garb of the appeasement politics accusation, also turning it into a Hindu versus Muslim contest in West Bengal.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But the facts remain facts. If something illegal has been done, it is illegal. They have used this way to appease a particular religious community. I don't blame that religious community. They have no fault in this. It is the fault of the TMC government and the preceding left government who had tabled the report. And the TMC government also used it, and they simply appeased this particular community for their vote bank politics. And this is not done. What is the pragmatic situation due to this? Actual people who deserve the OBC reservation, who come from an economically backward stature of the society, they have not got reservation. They have been deprived.
Point taken, Obro. And the matter is also in the court
of TMC government.
And I'll come to the matters in the court. And Obro, the one question that also came in, particularly about the development infrastructure for West Bengal, what has the BJP at the centre done for Bengal in particular, and transport in particular?
She was particular about the road infrastructure, right?
Transport and roads.
See, yeah. See, we have started a number of trains for increasing the connectivity and bettering the connectivity of West Bengal with the rest of the country. Plus, there are national highways. You go to the national highways, you travel via the national highways, you will see what kind of development has happened. In comparison, you go to the roads that are maintained by the state. You know, it's a concurrent thing, which are maintained by the state and the condition of those roads. In fact, the main thing is that other than national highways, the development of roadways in the villages, in the districts, that is very important. The central government has been very much committed to develop these roadways that connect the remote villages, the districts, to the rest of the land. That is what we have done. But the problem is the implementation of various schemes often happens via the state government. At that juncture, the state has created a number of occlusions, and that is not done. They are doing it for their petty politics, and the sufferers are common people of Bengal. That is not done.
All right, and finally, we're also running out of time. In this final section, we hear from each of the panelists about the clash of personality cults in these elections in West Bengal. On the one hand, you have Prime Minister Narendra Modi challenged by TMC's Mamta Bannerjee. But who holds edge, who holds the key to power in these elections? Anirban, very briefly, why would people support Mamata Banerjee-led TMC?
First of all, Bengal has historically not submitted themselves to outside invaders, and therefore even in these elections, if I consider this to be a battle, not just political but cultural as well, the Bengal is not going to submit itself to somebody who does not know how to speak Bangla, who does not know how we eat. We eat fish, we eat meat, we eat it all around the year, and that person thinks that anybody eating fish or meat is of Mughal Manosikata. So therefore, these kind of people are not welcome in Bangla.
Okay.
We are going to defeat them.
Anirban, insider-outsider debate, although the outsider who you call outsider have got around 40% of the vote share. Dr. Sen, very briefly, will Prime Minister Modi's guarantee be enough to take on Mamta Banerjee's hold?
We have a legacy of 10 years and we have a vision of 25 years. We have promised that India would not be a developing nation anymore. India would become a developed nation. We have the vision for that, we have the commitment for that, and we have our track record. But one more thing. You can vote for TMC if you are a supporter of Sheikh Shah Jahan. You can vote for TMC if you think open market is the right place to sell government jobs. Also, you can vote for CPIM and the left if you think we should do away with CAA, we should bring back Article 370, and we should do away with NSA and UAPA, which are, these things are mentioned in the manifesto of CPIM. If you think that India will have no nuclear warhead at all, while China has 438 warheads and Pakistan has 170 warheads, and India will just eliminate all our nuclear warheads and sit with a mango and a banana in our hands, then you can go for the left.
Okay.
But if you want development, if you want a developed country, BJP is the only option.
Okay, Dr. Sen, and Oishi, let me come to you. In the context of the big personalities.
Point is the BJP spokesperson has made it clear.
Oishi, now
and
just
also,
have time for your perspective.
I just
Why
want to say,
left
because in between,
it's very important that you give the
we have
perspective
clearly
of the
said that the people of Bengal need to vote against corruption. That is very clear. As much as TMC, faces of TMC has been charged of corruption charges, we are today seeing that BJP in Bengal is in a point where they are acting like a washing machine. That anybody from TMC charged of corruption, if they join BJP, if they join hands with BJP, everyone has been cleared of any charges, and this is not happening in Bengal. It's happening across the country. One point that we want to say to the young voters here and everyone who is going to vote for the first time or for the vote, the point is we can't survive as a society on the basis that we are being discriminated on the basis of religion, language, caste every other day. What my fellow panelists just mentioned about the left manifesto was very tricky, because they want the audience to only know about that. They don't want what the left actually manifesto talks about: employment, education.
I was not lying.
Why? The point is, it's not about that. The point is how the Prime Minister, just a second, how the Prime Minister Narendra Modi goes across in rally in the entire country
what is the
and
logic
picks
behind
about,
and
just let me speak, you have got your
Just
time
complete
to
the
speak.
point and finish it.
The Prime Minister, being the Prime Minister of this country, has particularly targeted one religion just for vote banks. That's the reality in this country. How has it done? And you can't deny those videos are there out in public. Everybody has seen that, and he
All right,
has...
let the people decide. Let the people. You've made the point. You've made the point.
I'm just trying to say,
Oishi,
how
you've made
can a
the
Prime
point.
Minister do that?
You've made the point. You've made the.
We are just
You've made
a
the
second,
point.
just 10 seconds. I just want to say to the audience that we as a society need to progress, and for that you need basic things. For that you need education, employment, healthcare, and other things for which we need to survive as a society. That's it.
Okay, take your
and
point
we need
and-
to defeat the corruption that is happening
Okay,
inside in
take that
Bengal and
point,
across the country.
Take that point. Pratim, final comments from you. They say that Bengal often shows the way to the nation for the progress. What is at stake in these elections? Very briefly, your comments before we close.
Two things. One, as I said in the beginning, that generally West Bengal moves in one direction in Lok Sabha and Vidhan Sabha, and there will be a disruption. So West Bengal has been isolated from national politics for last 50 years. This election, West Bengal will be firmly integrated with the national politics. It is a comeback period for West Bengal politically. Second, Ram has been the biggest mover in this election.
All right. On that note, let me thank all my panelists, Pratim Ranjan Bose, Oishi Ghosh from the left, Anirban Banerjee, TMC supporter, Dr. Obro Sen from the BJP. Thank you very much for joining us for this conversation. Thank you to all the audience members, and put your hands together for the spirit of conversation that you participated in. And as we close this edition of Poll Pulse, just a humble appeal. We're just in the final stage, final level of the general elections. When the time comes for you to exercise your franchise, make the effort and vote. Ours is the largest democracy in the world. Let's also together make it the most vibrant. On that note, it's a goodbye from Kolkata. Namaskar.